What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, and this is part 54 of my reviewing and ranking Frank Zappa's guitar solos within the context of the album. And today we got Joe's Camouflage. This came out in 2014. It is a single CD release in the Joe series of Age, Menage, Dommage, Xmas-age, Camouflage, and there's one more, right? Not remembering what it is. This is from the 75 tour rehearsal. It is 4-track recordings of songs rehearsed prior to the tour, plus the cassette recordings that Denny Wally made. I think he was the, what was the word, clone master? Was that the word they used of the person who conducted the band when Frank wasn't in rehearsals, or, you know, did things that Frank didn't have to do on his own? A secret word, Dragon Master, I think in 88 was riffed off that, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where the Dragon Master came from. But this is a band that didn't quite make the live shows. Some of the members are here, made the live shows. Bozio is still here. He's left over from the Bongo Fury tour. The bass player is back from the 60s Mothers. Napoleon Murphy Brock is still around. Denny Wally is still here from Bongo Fury, but he would leave, I think, and join Captain Beefheart's band. Plus, you have Novi Novog on viola and keyboards and vocals, and then Robert Frog Camarena on vocals and guitar. 5 solos in this release. Yeah, there's some couple decent ones, couple really nice songs, but we're just going to focus on the solos themselves. I'll talk about them. I'll put the list on the screen when I'm done, and then I will show you where this album ranks among the other 53 that I've done. Number 1 is Phoenix, at P-H-Y-N-I-O-X, Phoenix. This is just pretty much an instrumental. They're playing over the instrumental. It's got a nice little, very rehearsal guitar solo type feel, kind of a thin, kind of squiggly sound to his playing. I don't think the solo in its entirety, like, has this overall, like, I don't think the forest is better than the trees. I think there's a lot of really interesting trees in this relatively short little solo. And some of the trees are pretty interesting, but I don't think the trees all maybe connect, or they don't feel like they make this grand forest. It's just a lot of interesting ideas that Frank is kind of channeling through over the course of this, like, 2 minutes-ish of stuff. Yeah, not bad, not great, kind of interesting. Number 3 is a track called Reenie Raw. Little more aggressive, a lot more gritty. There's definitely more of a blues jam vibe to this solo. I think Frank's leaning in a little bit harder. I think it's definitely a little more attitude, less of a, hey, let's try out these ideas and let's get some ideas in there. I think the aggression and just that little more of a grittiness of the solo makes it a little more compelling than Phoenix. I'm sure someone will phonetically spell that for me in the comments. Thank you. I don't know if I don't remember hearing it pronounced. Maybe it is. But yeah, I like Reenie Raw. It's a little bit better than Phoenix. It's still not this spectacular solo, but I think the bursts of aggression throughout it just make it a little more interesting. Then we jump up quite a bit. Like, those are just kind of, hey, we're very much in a rehearsal session type thing. Then we jump up to what I think are like quality solos. Number 3 is Any Downers. This is not the You Are What You Is arrangement. This is just the 2-chord. Dun, 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 dun. Any Downers, just that simple, straightforward vamp. That is what I absolutely love about this song. It's what I absolutely love about the early live versions of this in the Fall 75 tour. They're just this really simple sonic landscape that Frank shreds over. It's all about the attitude. It's all about rock and roll, Frank's version of rock and roll. And for me, just the simplicity of it is what makes it so incredibly alluring and attractive. This does not compare to some of the live, absolute amazing performances from early part of the Fall 75 tour. But it's still a really nice, just rock and roll attitude solo. There's kind of 2 solos in here. There's like an early one that's about 40 seconds long that's just straight up like squealing rock and roll. Like, it seems like, any like Joe Walsh, I'm going back to Joe Walsh a lot. I don't know why I hear a lot of Joe Walsh and Frank in this era, but it's just rock and roll, but like with Frank's attitude. Then we get a second solo later on that's just aggressive, over the top. It almost has some straight up like prog rock style riffing. The ending's kind of weak. Like Frank doesn't really know what he wants to do to end it, but the vibe, like just elevates this to like to awesomeness. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people that maybe don't find any downer. I've heard comments that some people are not as enthralled with the any downers from Fall 75 as I am, but I am absolutely enthralled. We need an official Fall 75 release that has an epic any downers on it, because that would be amazing. Number 2 is Phoenix, whatever you pronounce it. Take 2. Frank's a lot more confident in this solo. He is attacking with a lot more energy. It's almost like in take 1, he figured out what he wanted to do, and in take 2, he does it. We get what feels like a Frank solo from start to finish. It feels like an actual like live, I'm gonna create this, one time only singular piece of art. It has that feeling. Sounds great. The energy is great. That vamp, which has this very over the top kind of busy vamp, Frank makes it work. Frank's riding over it. It's got really good energy. There's a little bit of, there's kind of an intensity to it, but just the vibe, the overtopness about it. Frank just kind of freewheeling and going at it. It all just feels really good. It all just feels spectacular. And to have the opening be a somewhat like timid, exploratory, but we're kind of getting out there solo, and then have the same song appear later where you're like, oh no, we figured it out in one take. It's a nice little journey. And then number 1 is Black Napkins. And I think this just stands to like further like why Black Napkins is one of the greatest things ever. Just because this is a rehearsal, there's no audience to feed off of. There's just a bunch of musicians in the room, and Frank's still able to deliver just like an epic Black Napkin solo. The energy is great. We have a lot of just like repetitive ideas where he's just kind of treading water in the same area over and over again, which is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. When we go into the solo, we don't have any sort of like slowly, let's go into it and build an idea. It's like, no, we're in the solo. We're going to attack from the front. We're just going at it. The keyboard sounds by Novi, right? Noveg. Keyboard sounds are really super spacey and kind of weird and kind of sci-fi and add a really nice element to it. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, Bozio sounds great. Like, we know what Bozio is going to do for Black Napkins in the next couple tours. He's doing it here. Just everything about it. It's Black Napkins. And I've said here before, and I've said it many times again, that I would buy a CD that was nothing but Black Napkins, every single solo. And there's somebody out there that has done that for us. I do want to give a shout out right now to Coaster Magic X2. He has a whole bunch of really long videos in which he takes every single solo from like every Black Napkin solo and has them back to back to back to back to back. Not just the ones that are released, but anything that's available on bootlegs that's worth listening to. Not worth listening to quality-wise, but worth listening to sonically. So what he does in these videos, what I wish Frank would do with Black Napkins, is you start off with like, say the first Black Napkins is this one. You would have this first, and then when the solo ends, you go into the next solo chronologically, and then when we get to the end of the release, we finish out the song. Coaster Magic X2 has done that on a lot of things. Go check out his channel, Coaster Magic X2. He has done what I wish it's kind of like what the Dead did with, what was it, Gray Folded? Was that the one where they took all the different space versions of space and just made one really long space? It was Gray Folded something. I think it was Gray Folded, right? No, Infrared Roses was that. I don't know. But the Dead have done it where they've taken space and like made like CDs out of it. Can't remember. I haven't listened to those in a while. But anyways, Black Napkins. It's the best solo on here. Again, Black Napkins. What a fantastic song. All right, that's all I got. That's what the 5 of them look like in the order of my preference. Black Napkins is there because it's Black Napkin. Phoenix is actually a really good solo. And that energy in Any Downers, that hits hard and makes me really happy. It's good rock and roll. Good rock and roll. And there is where I would rank this album, which is way back at 36. Yeah. Maybe it feels a little high, like it should be farther back, but I like the Black Napkins. And until we get another Any Downers, this is going to be ranked higher than anything. If we get a 75 show that has a full Any Downers, this will probably drop just because there's something else in the catalog that like compares to this. But for now, I put it at 37 because ranking these things is stupid. And all of these things are starting to have the same numerical value in the middle, and I'm just randomly choosing. So anyways, I'm throwing it at 37. Yeah, that's where it is. I like the solos on here, right? Yeah, I don't know. That might be, I might be overvaluing this a little more, but again, Black Napkins, Any Downers, they need their props. Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you like, what you don't like about these songs, about these solos. Let me know how to pronounce those words. All that stuff, I made mistakes. I know there are people out there that will let me know what I messed up on. Let me know, thoughts. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and go listen to this Black Napkins and go listen to Any Downers, people. That's a great song. I love the simple, rock, just heavy version of Any Downers from this era. Absolutely fantastic. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Peace. Talk to you later.